Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday and sometimes Fridays. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand, Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. Okay, you might notice that this episode has a million stories. We have an extra long mini today because I actually had an appointment booked this weekend that had to move to tomorrow. So moved to Friday. And that was last minute. It happened yesterday. So I will not be able to do a mini tomorrow for you guys. So I'm going to do an extra long mini for you guys today instead to make up for it. And tomorrow there will be an episode of The Grill from High Stakes. If you guys still want a Friday episode, go subscribe to them or watch them on YouTube if you guys watch on YouTube. All right, the first story that I have for you guys today is that Brittany Miller has broken her silence on lying about having cancer. So, British influencer Brittany Miller has admitted in a new video that she lied about having cancer years ago. Brittany is a food and lifestyle influencer with over 3.5 million followers on TikTok.
So back in 2017, I had extremely bad mental health. I lost my partner, I lost my job, and there was lots of things in that year that led me to be mentally ill. I said something to someone within my immediate circle in confidence. One stupid sentence that I deeply regret. I said I had an illness, which was cancer. I didn't do this for malicious intent or to scam people. I did this out of desperation. I did it to keep the people close to me, to keep the people in my life close to me.
So Brittany's confession comes after UK tabloid The Sun published an article that claimed to reveal that there was a dark truth behind Brittany's career. The Sun published this piece because even though Brittany's cancer lie apparently happened before she was an influencer, followers have suspected that she lied about having cancer since about 2 years ago, when posts started going viral that showed that there was some type of fundraising for Brittany's gastric cancer. So this is from NBC News. Quote, rumors about Miller's lie hit a peak in 2023 when people accused her of having lied to friends about her illness to manipulate them into spending time with her and asking for donations from a crowdfunding campaign. The allegations circulated on TikTok and other social media platforms such as Reddit. In her video from this week, Brittany insists she never took any money from the fundraising, which was set up by other people, she says. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen the creator on TikTok who actually has dedicated, I believe, his life's work, I believe it's his career, researching and interviewing people that do lie about having cancer or have lied about having cancer. He came up on my For You page a few months ago, but it's really fascinating, and he kind of explains that the majority of the research out there, shows that it's largely young white women who lie about having cancer, and they don't do it for financial gain. They do it for sympathy and attention. And them being able to do it through online platforms is, one of the most powerful ways to spread a lie like this and garner just mass sympathy. I'll try and link him down below if I remember, because his content is really interesting. All right, the next story that I have for you guys, this is also about an illness, but it is a much lighter story. Madeleine White is facing lots of drama this week after she documented herself going out with pink eye to a rave for her 30th birthday. And this has specifically sparked a lot of debate online about cultural norms around health and how we treat conditions like this in different countries. So TikTok star Madeleine White, she's a British fashion and lifestyle influencer. She has over 5 million followers on TikTok, and she recently got married to Andrew Fedek, who is one half of the DJ group Loud Luxury. I only mention her marriage because her wedding went super viral. I think I even talked about it on Mini when it happened. So yes. Madeleine turned 30 this weekend, and she rented a big house with her friends in Orlando to attend a rave as her husband was playing a show there. However, during the weekend, Madeleine contracted pink eye, which she said she got from Andrew, her husband, who used cheap green makeup for his Halloween costume around his eyes. Madeleine did her makeup, and then she went to this rave, and the internet absolutely lost its minds over her going out while having pink eye. Obviously, considering she could spread it to others, especially in a rave environment. I feel like a rave environment is like one of the least clean environments of like partying vibes that you can have. And I used to love a rave. When I was like 19 to 24, catch me at every single rave. It was notably Americans who were freaking out about her eyes. So Madeleine indicated in a video amid the backlash that she posted after all of this started blowing up that in England, you would never be expected to skip out on anything for pink eye. And then Brits, Aussies, Canadians, Europeans were in her comment section largely agreeing with her, saying that the way that we treat pink eye in our countries is very casual. Like you would get some antibiotic drops and go about your life. I do want to note here, everybody pretty much agreed that that's not the case for kids. Like if a kid shows up to daycare with pink eye or school, they will be sent home. But in terms of like adults in general life, they're not expected to skip work or social things for pink eye. So this started a massive debate about cultural norms around health practices in different countries. And I'm curious to hear from you guys about this because as a Canadian living in Australia, I mean, I've never had pink eye since I moved to Australia, and the last time I think I had pink eye was probably as a kid. If I saw an adult out in the wild with pink eye, like at a restaurant or at work or at the store or something like that, I probably wouldn't think much about it. I would just be cautious, like, okay, I'm just not gonna go, super close to them because if they've accidentally rubbed their eyes and touched something, like obviously I don't wanna contract it, but I wouldn't think that being in their presence, I could just get it. But then, like I said, that's made me think like maybe I just don't know how pink eye is contracted. So I'm interested to hear, first of all, where you guys are from and how you believe, I guess, your country, like culturally, socially, would treat pink eye. I know this is the craziest thing I've ever asked on Minnie. I can't believe that this sentence just came out of my mouth, but it's really interesting to see that online everybody's like, oh my God, Americans treat pink eye like the plague. And everybody else is like, it's really chill for us. And I don't really know if that's totally true. I also do need to make a caveat here. Obviously, this is just sourcing like general vibes from TikTok comment sections, okay? So take that with a grain of salt. Like this is obviously not a scientifically valid study of results that I'm presenting to you guys. This is just like the conversation that is sparked online from the TikTok comment section of everybody being like, oh wow, we had no idea that Americans take pink eye so seriously. One thing that some people have brought up though is that the countries who are claiming to treat pink eye very casually mostly have universal health care. So that could play a factor, I suppose, into why some countries treat it more seriously and others don't. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is I wanted to talk about how Sydney Sweeney's new film has flopped so hard at the box office and why people online think that is the case. So as you probably already know, Sydney Sweeney's new film Christy has flopped very hard at the box office in its opening days. Christy is a biographical sports drama starring Sydney Sweeney as Christy Martin, who was a pioneering female professional boxer who rose to fame in the 1990s. The story covers Martin's rise, her historic fights, and her personal life, including her marriage to her coach/trainer, who eventually became abusive. This sounds like such a good movie. However, the film grossed only $1.3 million in its opening weekend across over 2,000 theaters in the US, which is an average of $649 per theater. So this has sparked a lot of debate online about what happened. And the theory that I saw that I think I subscribe to the most is that Sydney Sweeney is generally not liked right now, especially by women. And given this film is about a female boxer, I don't think it's so far-fetched for me to say that it can be harder to get men to care about women's sports, okay? So if you're gonna look at who might be interested in this film at face value, I would argue probably more women than men. And then Sydney Sweeney, she doesn't have her typical like blonde bombshell sex appeal in this film, obviously, because she's playing a character who is so different from that. So this film in many ways feels like it needed women to buy in. However, Sydney Sweeney is so unlikable to women right now, given what she's publicly aligned with, how she's responded to criticism. I mean, I really don't need to rehash it all, but the bathwater, the American Eagle ad, she just did an interview, I think it was with GQ, where she basically laughed about the criticism around the American Eagle ad and was like, it was just a jeans ad. So yeah, you could argue that her likability is down and therefore it's really impacted the success of this opening weekend. And another part of this story is that there are reportedly these leaked emails from Sydney Sweeney's PR team being posted online that show They are really trying to change journalist narratives that they're putting out there about the film around the flop. So Eric Italiano, who is a senior culture writer at Bro Bible, posted this on X. He said, got this PR email today, never got one like it before. Her team's down bad. And it's a screenshot, again, alleged. It's a screenshot from an alleged email to him from a PR person that says, hi, Eric, would you please mind updating the headline for us to say that despite low box office, the audience has spoken. We are 99% positive on the popcorn meter. Box office aside, this one's a win in all the ways that matter. We're so proud to back independent cinema and share a story that genuinely deserves to be seen. At the end of the day, these publicists are just doing their jobs. This is like, their regular 9 to 5. They need to appease their boss. They need to make their clients happy. Like their whole job is to put a positive spin on whatever is happening in the media for their clients. So you can't really say too much about it. And this actually, it's surprising to me that this journalist said that he's never received an email like this, because we have definitely received emails like this from publicists asking us to make headlines positive or whatever it is. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is that a man named Scott Kelly has gone viral at the Jonas Brothers concert, and he wasn't even there. So this is a very internet-y story. I actually love it. So a TikTok video went viral this week of someone in the crowd at a Jonas Brothers concert, and they were reviewing the resume on their phone of a man named Scott Kelly. The person who posted the TikTok wrote, Scott Kelly, your resume was being reviewed at the Jonas Brothers concert tonight. Good luck. And now the comment section is filled with celebrities, brands, and even the Jonas Brothers themselves wishing Scott Kelly well. So Joe Jonas wrote, bro, Scott Kelly was there for me plenty of times. Hired. Kevin wrote, I'm one of Scott Kelly's references. Nick wrote, Scott Kelly's work ethic and critical thinking inspired me to write the line red dress. Pepsi wrote, cannot recommend Scott enough. He's an elite employee. AT&T wrote, not Scott Kelly waking up to 1,876 LinkedIn requests. Garnier wrote, Scott Kelly saved my life. Kleenex wrote, Scott Kelly gave us tissues when we were sobbing in the hallway. Laneige wrote, Scott Kelly has hydrated skin. You should def hire him. Sonic wrote, Scott Kelly's impact on company culture is unreal. Zillow wrote, Scott at home watching this. Steve Madden wrote, Scott Kelly bailed me out of jail when Jordan Belfort ratted me out. Hire him. And then someone named Scott Kelly, who knows if it's actually him, wrote, no job offer yet. So this is fun. I don't usually love when brands jump in on viral trends like this and these kinds of in-jokes. I think it's a bit cringe and try hard, but I think this was fun. However, I will say the one thing I don't really love about this is I think it is a bit questionable from the person who initially posted it to film somebody's resume. You couldn't really see what was on it, but you never know, right? Zooming in on someone's resume. And now, if they are currently employed, their current employer could see that they are looking for other jobs. I feel like it's really invasive. Also, I would not want somebody to see my detailed resume. I feel like it's almost, I don't know, it's very personal, So that is something I don't love about this story, but everything else is fun. Okay, my last couple stories are really quick. However, I did want to say here that I was considering covering the situation going on online where Ashley Graham, the model, her sister Maddie has been making tons of content right now, kind of exposing, quote unquote, her family and horrible things that Ashley and their mother have done to her over the years. But I'm not going to actually give it any more airtime. I feel like it's getting litigious now and I'm scared. But if you guys are interested in that, there is a lot of stuff going on TikTok right now. If you just look up Maddie Graham, you'll be able to see. So my final stories are a few relationship updates. So first, there have been reports this week that Timothée Chalamet broke up with Kylie Jenner. However, Page Six is denying this, and Kylie recently liked a post by Timothée amid these rumors. So Page Six seems to be trying to really indicate that this is not true, although we know that apparently the Kardashians have a very good relationship with Page Six, so who knows? Sometimes I do feel like where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a reason that narrative is out there, so we'll see. Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater are also reportedly still together, despite reports this week that they split. Again, who knows? And actress Brittany Snow is reportedly engaged to one of Tana Mongeau's friends, Hunter Moreno. This is so random. I love a crossover like this. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's it for Mini Scroll today. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. I'm sorry there'll be no episode tomorrow. It was a bit out of my hands, but there will be an episode of The Grill from High Stakes tomorrow, and then I will talk to you guys on Monday. Bye.